One thing we haven't talked about is, again, we're using an active, large consortium of microbes. And remember, the other microbial technologies out there are going to use just a handful of spore-forming bacillus because they're easy to stabilize, they're easy to store. Our product is, frankly, when you have a large consortium of microbes, it's a lot harder to figure out how to stabilize it. We have a patent on how we stack, stabilize, and concentrate this large consortium, and it's what really sets us apart. But one of the things we use is cold chain supply. So when we have our consortium below 44 degrees, they're dormant. We've got better than 2-year shelf life below 44 degrees. As it gets above 44 degrees, the temperature of the vessel, where we're storing the material, the microbes start to become active. The warmer it gets, the more active they get. As they become active, they consume oxygen inside that vessel, whether that be a tote or a drum or what have you. As they consume the oxygen, eventually they run out of oxygen, and then our aerobic mixture of microbes becomes anaerobic, which is not as good for promoting soil health. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's not going to give us all these wonderful benefits. So we like to keep the product cold for long-term storage, but you don't have to have cold supply, cold storage as a grower, as a producer, because we're going to ship it to you from one of our dealers, whether it be Brian or Tim or Taylor or one of our other dealers around the country. And you've got 4 to 6 weeks at room temperature to use that product very effectively. And so it's not like it's ice cream. As soon as you take it out of the refrigerator, it melts. We've got, better than a month. When you're going to plant, you order the material, it gets to you a week or two before you're going to plant, and then we go ahead and we deliver to you and you put it down. So Taylor, you've been using this now for multiple of years and getting it to lots of people. You want to talk at all about whether that refrigeration is a hassle or a benefit, or like where you see it, in the operation?
Yeah, I've had a lot of guys nervous about it, I guess, with regards to, we got to keep it cold, and I guess I've been saying 2 weeks. Try to keep it refrigerated at least 2 weeks before you put it out on your field. But I had one, we do some edible beans, so I usually get my shipment early April, and I got to make it into early June. Haven't had anything going anaerobic on me anyway, so it's been haven't really had to worry that much on the refrigeration. I have a unit that I put it in to keep it cold for myself to hand out to customers, but I think keep it out of direct sunlight is the main thing. That makes them more active, but really it's been pretty easy. It's a nice, easy product to get along with. You mess with organic, you mess with fish, that plugs every single elastic screen you can find. You mess with this and that. And this stuff is really easy to put on. It's really easy to run through screens. I haven't had a plug on anything. So as far as storing and use, it's pretty dang easy. A half gallon an acre is really tough to argue with, and haven't had a lot of problem with refrigeration or anything like that, getting them too hot and turning anaerobic on me or anything like that.
Yeah, and Taylor, how about you? You've used it now for 5 years, going through trailer load after trailer load of the material. Any feedback on that?
Yeah, we're up north, so it's cool already when we're planting corn. You don't have to worry ever about that, and mainly you have to worry about sometimes about freezing. Tell them to keep it in their sheds overnight sometimes, when it gets too cold. But no, I've put it out in the sun for in a gallon jug, and just left a 2.5 gallon jug out in the sun. I think it took 8 weeks to start really, showing signs and smelling like.
Yeah, I don't know if we bleached it. Smelling like, and then you didn't hear him because he could have used a bad word about what it smells like when it goes anaerobic. It smells like we're swamp water you haven't ever smelled.
It'll tip you over if you take a whiff of that.
But so that's actually a good thing, gang, because a lot of people are like, well, hey, it's been out of the refrigerator for 6 weeks. Is it still good? There's a really simple way to tell. You just smell it. It either smells like cross between Sam Adams glazed donuts and maybe a little bit of vinegar, or it smells like something you can't even get near, or your dog wouldn't go near. Because when it goes anaerobic, it's a light switch. It turns off, and when that happens, the odor changes, and you've got anaerobic material. If that happens, by the way, we will warranty that. So you call your dealer, you call Holganix, you say, hey, I left it in the shed for 2 months. I just didn't get to it like I thought I was going to. Whatever. I don't care if it was just out of absent-mindedness. We will actually replace that material for you at no cost. Now, if you do that every year, we may have a conversation. But I can tell you that I make that claim to people every year, and every year we might replace a single tote out of thousands of totes that we ship out. So it's really not an issue, and it's one that we don't want you to think about or have a risk in, and it's nothing we need to worry about.